folks. Good evening. Welcome to another date on the Journalist Hangout edition. It's a midweek. I am Citizen Jones Hussein. But did you really know today was halfway into the year? It's day number 183, so 183 days to go. You still have quite some time to make amends. Today on the program, senators, reps give Buhari conditions to avoid impeachment, pass vote of no confidence on the Inspector General, herdsmen kill 3 policemen, 8 villagers in Nasarawa, just as Defense Minister pushes for suspension of anti-grazing law in Benue and Taraba states. And later on, hear this, Coach Gernot Raw releases final 23-man Super Eagles team list to the Russia 2018 World Cup. I'll be hanging out with Babajide Kolade Otitojo. I greet you, Jide.
I greet you, Citizen.
Ayo Makide is here. I greet you, Ayo.
Thank you so much for inviting.
No less so, Asukwo James. I welcome you, sir.
Good evening, Citizen.
Now you can see the team is ready. I hope you are too. All right, then, you know, healthy partnership amongst the 3 arms of government is key if we are to achieve the ideals we espouse as a people and a polity. But a constantly feuding presidency and the National Assembly would only split the electorate along partisan lines, thereby distracting our focus on everything we have attempted to stand for. The National Assembly on Tuesday gave President Muhammadu Buhari 12-point condition to address urgently or risk impeachment proceedings. Both chambers had met behind closed doors and passed the joint resolution after 3 sustained hours. The red and green chambers, for a second time, passed a vote of no confidence on the country's chief police officer, the Inspector General. The die is cast, or so it seems, Jide. The die is cast.
Yes, it's in unmistakable terms. I think the message was sent across to the president, but there is a tinge of opportunism about the way the whole thing went. Nobody will say that he's happy about the security situation in our country. If anyone will pass a vote of no confidence on the IG on account of the way Nigerians are being killed in different parts of the country, I'm not going to disagree with that person. But the timing of this joint session and its resolutions, in my view, are very opportunistic. And when they said that they will invoke the powers of the National Assembly, if the president doesn't do all of the
12 conditions.
The things that they've listed here, you now ask yourself that, is this really a joke? Because what is the point in starting something that you cannot finish? A philosopher said, nothing is as bad as a course without followership. They know that they cannot impeach the president. The way things are currently, the president cannot be impeached. You know? And that is not saying that the president has done so well that he can't, I mean,
It's untouchable.
It's untouchable, it's without blemish.
Okay.
But the National Assembly, as constituted currently, cannot impeach this president because they will never find the right number to make that happen. Yesterday...
That's at the National Assembly and the states, 2/3 of the states. Okay, or is
no,
it just the National Assembly?
The National Assembly
Okay.
alone can impeach the president.
Okay.
But you need 2/3 majority
Of
of
the
both
House
houses.
of Reps and Senate, yeah.
That is a tall order. And not only that, the Chief Justice of the nation will set up a committee that will now look at the impeachable offenses that you have listed against him. And that, if the committee returns a verdict of no, that is the end of the exercise. It happened in Nasarawa State, where nearly everybody in the House of Assembly was PDP. But they could not remove Almakura because the panel that the Chief Judge set up returned a not guilty verdict against the man. And after that, and given the fact that Almakura also had the support of the people, because demonstrations had begun and all that, even the people who wanted to impeach him could not sit in public. So the point I'm making is, yes, we have issues, we have all kinds of problems, but to now begin to talk about, to now begin to threaten the president with what looks like impeachment, they didn't couch it in that way, but it is clear that that's what they are saying. After some people's security operatives were reduced, and Saraki had this problem with the police, I think it is the height of opportunism, and I don't think we should be playing this kind of politics.
That's Jide's views, and he's covered by the Constitution.
Well,
Yours?
my position is, just as he said, the only concern for me that I have is who is at the receiving end of all of this drama. I maintain something. The National Assembly, the legislature, is the #1 arm of government, according to the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. And the judiciary is third in line. The executive is second. Consequently, it means that the National Assembly
Is the heartbeat.
Is supposed to be the heartbeat, but it just seems to be unfocused as far as I am concerned. Almost 400.
No, we're saying on paper, the National Assembly is the heartbeat of the country.
Exactly. So anything that the executive should do, the executive is supposed to, as the word says, execute. In other words, there is a plan to execute. So a situation where the National Assembly is pointing to the executive as government, for me, is laughable. So I still find that really, really dramatic.
Okay.
That's on the one hand. On the other hand, is the fact that all of this drama is definitely, I mean, they've spent 3 hours of so many other days talking about things other than what really, really concerns or interests the people. When I saw the list, I was like, okay, so which one of these directly affects people? Of the 12 and other A and B that goes on there, I could only see maybe 1 or 2 or maximum 5 that really concern people directly, which is what Jide mentioned about the security of lives and property. Important, no doubt about it. Anything else, as far as I'm concerned, is just window dressing.
Let's share the bag and look at the list. We might leaf through them. Number 1, security agencies to be giving marching orders, more or less saying your security chiefs must be kicked, okay, to curtail sustained killings of Nigerians across the country. You don't quarrel with that?
No, of course, because the entire country is, especially the people in the central part of Nigeria, you know, I'm not sure any of them have been sleeping with their 2 eyes closed. You know, they've been having these issues of the herdsmen disturbing the farmers from, you know, carrying out their farming and all. You know, that is okay. You can say that is okay. That is the only place that you can say, okay, this relates to the people. Any other, if you are going to take them one after the other, any other one is more about them.
Absolutely.
It's more about them. So if you look at the first one,
them here being individuals.
No, individuals.
Yes.
You know, because
not
now
not the people they represent.
Vis-a-vis the comments, if we want to now talk about the comments of the defense minister and all that, but if you look at it, the first marching order to stop the killings that one is a plus for them.
Okay.
Yes, they decided, okay, this is for the people. We agree with that.
Otherwise, but what about the caveat? Kick security chiefs.
Well, they've always been saying that. They've met with they met with the security chiefs, I think so, last week or thereabout, or this week, early this week. And the NSA said so many things about why they've not been able to curtail these killings. And he mentioned funding. Part of it was funding. And that is where they are even supposed to come out and
Funding
say, okay,
is also supposed to be
we need to
authorized
increase
by them.
Exactly.
We need to increase funding for the protection of the lives of Nigerians.
Yeah.
So that is where they are also supposed to come in.
Jide, number 2, stop the systematic and systematic humiliation by executive of perceived political opponents, people with contrary opinions, including legislators and judiciary, by the police and other security agencies.
Again, I don't know who has contrary opinion in the judiciary.
No, it's true.
That the executive was humiliated. They put judges on trial. It's a normal thing. The old man who just took over power in Malaysia.
Okay, that's what you understand. I mean, I didn't really see from that angle.
No, he said, including legislators and judiciary.
Yeah.
So what they are saying is they are trying to get the judiciary to be
To
on
their side.
Yeah.
You know? So are you saying that judges being put on trial for corruption is such a bad thing?
Or
when even
because
the
of them?
NJC, when even NJC on the part has been punishing judges?
Yes.
So, in my view, if someone has a case to answer, defend yourself. That's the way I see it. An attempt to bring a few persons to justice in the National Assembly should not be seen by the rest of them
Yes.
as an affront
on the entire institution.
or an attack on the entire institution. Because they can't tell me that they do not know that some of them in the National Assembly do not deserve to be there. Because there are felons in the National Assembly. I remember a former
Felons who had been duly so pronounced by a court of competent jurisdiction. That's how we put it.
People have been put behind bars in the past there in the National Assembly.
Okay.
Remember?
Sorry, no vex me, I don't know.
No, you know, say, it will be all our mouth to take the talk here. Because
But they use your mouth.
no. When we talk, we close the mouth a little bit.
Okay.
We don't use all the mouth to talk. You know, permit
Come on.
my metaphor. But someone, a former AIG, was in the Senate. And he said there are armed robbers in this Senate.
Yes.
Yeah.
He said
And he said,
DIG, former DIG
former
from
AIG.
Kebbi.
I think
And another one from Kebbi, said so.
I'm talking about Nuhu Aliu.
Okay.
Nuhu Aliu, AIG Nuhu Aliu, was in that Senate. He said, I can see someone who used to be in my cell.
Wow.
Yes.
He said it.
Someone who was arrested for armed robbery. I won't mention his name, but maybe he's watching me now. You know? So that is, the truth is there are people who are not above board, who are in that Senate.
Okay.
Of course, we know some of them are on trial now. And if not because of the whimsical nature of judicial processes, by now, some of them will have been jailed. And this issue will have been resolved. So, but trying to now make it look like, oh, the executive on its own is trying to persecute judiciary, trying to persecute
targeting opponents, perceived
other
opponents.
arms of government.
Yeah, okay.
Because that's the point that they are trying to make. It's all politics. If a judge thinks that it's not, that he has not done anything wrong, he should submit himself for trial. You can't tell me that it's wrong to put judges on trial in Nigeria, despite the monumental corruption in that sector.
The viewer can go to the net now and stuff. He finds that so many judges in the United States were impeached.
Yes,
You know,
judges jailed.
and jailed.
The moment that old man took over in Malaysia, he arrested many judges.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Yeah.
That old man recovered 50 billion. 50 billion within 5 days. 50 billion stolen money. $50 billion is 5 times what Nigeria earns on the average from selling crude oil in 5 years.
And Jide, that old man we are not talking about the age of the man, but and
not
not even the age of his ideas.
Oh, yes, it's much older than Buhari now,
Okay.
but he's doing wonders.
Ayo, number 3, there must be strict adherence to the rule of law and protection of all citizens by the president and his appointees. You don't quarrel with that.
If there is anything that anyone has done against this one, I think there should just be facts brought to the table, and it's easy for you to invite ministers and all of that. I don't know if you will have enough time, but permit me to jump to this one that I find very, very laughable, number 7A and B.
Okay.
Where the National Assembly is asking
International community.
itself
Asking itself.
to liaise with international communities so that they can deepen their own democracy. You know the first thing that came to my mind? Okay, I'm married to a particular woman. I cannot hold this woman. And I invite Babajide Otitoju to come and supervise my home.
No, they say that's even taking it too far. You have just a little misunderstanding with your wife because couples will always quarrel.
Yes.
But these disagreements can be resolved
Between the two
the two of you on your bed.
But we now-
and then you now have to bring, for every disagreement, you must bring.
They
bring
call them
someone.
pillow talk.
Pillow talk.
That one is not resolving it. So you're now inviting everybody in the world,
Yes.
literally everybody in the world, the UN, the EU, the US, Congress.
They're already pressing the alarm button.
Yeah. Yeah.
Meanwhile, it has not reached that level.
Yeah.
You remember that it was the same thing that this man did, the deputy Senate president the other day, when he was he wrote a letter.
Okay. Yeah.
To the Americans.
Yeah.
See, the whole of the thing, the whole
So
thing for
it's
me,
preemptive.
as far as I am concerned, it's pretty much saying, look, okay, now, many times as journalists, we know, we have heard all kinds of allusions that many cases of unrest that we find around us, they are all instigated for some political gains and all of that. This could be the reason for all of this insecurity we're having all over the nation. Who knows? Well, maybe it's just an assumption. It's election year in another few months from now. So what exactly are we talking about
All right,
here?
we have provoked Shegun somewhere in Kwara State. So he's here. Good evening, Shegun. Welcome. Shegun, are you there?
Yeah, good afternoon.
I greet you.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, please, I just want to contribute to your program.
Go on, sir.
Mr. Jide Otitoju, thank you for your contribution.
Thank you.
Please, we always acknowledge your words, and as you always get to true of many of Nigeria. Please, this don't say that National Assembly, they cannot impeach president. And we always refer to every of your comments you said.
Yes.
Please,
No, Shegun, understand the context.
yeah,
The Constitution makes it clear you can impeach the president. The offenses must be impeachable.
Yes.
But he is saying this particular National Assembly
They won't
does
be
not
able to
seem
do it.
ready. He's talking,
They are
Shegun
not
is
even
talking about the
united now.
numbers.
They are not united.
Yes.
After their meeting yesterday, and a set of
Another group.
lawmakers, they had a press conference.
And dissociated themselves.
You know what I'm saying now?
Even one was saying that if they try it, that there will be war.
They don't do it. It's not easy to impeach a Nigerian president.
Shegun for calling.
Femi Falana once said the Nigerian president is the most difficult to impeach in the world. And I've sat down and asked myself, and I gave the example of what happened in Nasarawa. But people, when you say these things, people will think, oh, he likes the president, he doesn't like the
Oh yeah. It's not about why, but the how. Okay then, I cannot skip this, Asokwo. The government should show sincerity in the fight against corruption by not being selective and also prosecute current appointees that have cases pending against them.
There are two ways to it.
Okay.
Fine. The government has its own side. That is the executive. They have their own side of not being able to, prosecute their own set of people, as in maybe the SGF and co. But you can't tell me that this particular statement is not targeted at some of them who are already having cases. Peter Nwabuoshi is having a case, fraud case, serious fraud case with the EFCC. My senator, Basi
really?
Akman,
Okay.
was also accused, concerning
No,
mockery.
no,
I'm
he's
telling
not
you.
my senator. But go on.
Our
I
senator.
know my, okay.
Our senator. Our senator.
Good for you.
He's an outsider.
He's also he's running left, right, and center concerning the fraud case, between this Omokiri and what's her name, the former petroleum
I hear
minister.
2 or 3 of his houses he's going to forfeit.
He's going to, well, definitely. So all of them, they know why they actually brought this, because they know that when the president starts, when the corruption dog is out, when the dog is out, he knows where it's going to bite. They have started already with these 2. And this, Peter, that of Peter was very interesting. They gave him money, he didn't even execute the project. He
was busy.
He was busy.
Okay.
So the fight against corruption, yes, is
Okay,
yes, it is on the executive, but they should not tell us it's not sincere. Because even if you look at it, the people are saying, the president can wait, the citizens.
The fellow you provoked is waiting in Kaduna.
Okay, yeah. In Kaduna.
He's here. I greet you, Ahmed. How are you? Are you there?
Ahmed.
Brother Ahmed, I greet you. We're not quite ready. Okay. Number 8, let's go on. The National Assembly will work closely with civil society organizations, trade unions, and NGOs to further deepen our democracy. Something Ayo brought. It's more like
the difference really between
the
7 and 8.
difference is the same.
It's just to put on a garb of populism.
Okay.
This is what we are seeing. Oh, let's roll this out. Many Nigerians will be happy with us. But the truth is, Nigerians are particularly angry with the National Assembly on account of what they earn.
Exactly.
They made it look like a cult affair. They don't want anybody to know what they earn. And if you are true representatives of the people, you are there because the people put you there. They should know what you earn. The whole world knows the salary of the American president. But in your own case, outside of what the Revenue Mobilization of Fiscal Commission apportioned to you, you come up with a raft of allowances that ensure that your salary is humongous, to say the least. And many people are not happy about that. So whenever they come up with things like this, it doesn't really strike the right chord with the Nigerian people until Bukola Saraki and his people show us that they are indeed ready.
His people meaning his colleagues.
Yes, his colleagues in the National Assembly, until they come out and in line with the difficult times that we are facing, give away some of the
allowances,
unnecessary allowances that they earn, a case is in court now over this humongous pay. Until they do that, whatever they come up with, many people will just dismiss it as garbage.
The Senate President and his colleagues must purge themselves
before attempting to purge any other.
After that, Nigerians will begin to take them seriously.
Absolutely.
And many people will queue behind them in their battle with the executive once they see sincerity because the Senate President told us that, look, this time they are going to mention that the details of the budget of the National Assembly will be disclosed. But at the end of the day, to say that the details were disclosed is to deceive oneself.
Okay.
Because if we just say, okay, 40 million or 40 billion allocated to so, then, and you fail to break it down.
Yeah.
So what have you disclosed?
Ayo, you won't quarrel with this. Number 10, both chambers of the National Assembly hereby pass a vote of confidence on the Senate President and Speaker of the House of Reps and the entire leadership of the National Assembly. You are not quarreling with that.
Are they aware, they may be unaware, that the Senate President still has some cases to answer here and there? Maybe they are not aware.
No. They have
It
passed
doesn't
a
bother
vote
them.
of confidence.
It doesn't bother them.
On him.
They are aware because they go with him to court. They always accompany. They will take a bus, a long bus. They will go with him to court. So
You can't say
they are not aware.
You can't say
aware.
they didn't aware.
So they are aware of that one. Okay. But they just still feel that it's okay. Permit me, I will leave that one to you, Citizen Jones. You comment on that one. I'll ask you that one later. But let me look at that number 9 that we skipped.
Okay.
Must take immediate steps to contain the growing level of unemployment and poverty in Nigeria. They passed the budget for 2017 and 20.
I'm sorry, let me quickly take Olamide in Ogun State. How are you, sir? Welcome.
Yeah, it's Olumide. Thank you.
Olamide, welcome.
Yeah, good job well done, you guys, gentlemen, in the studio.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, my own contribution is just that these people have seen that what they did in the past is now changing them.
Olumide, they are not these people. These National Assembly,
these
legislators. No. I don't like these people. These federal legislators. Go on.
Okay, thank you. Okay, I'm sorry about that. So these federal legislators we're talking about, they know that what they've done in the past is now chasing them. So they know that the executive arm is like coming after them now, so to say. So that's why they are trying to build something we will say that defense for themselves. So that's what I, in my own opinion, see that is going on in this case. Thank you.
Many thanks, Sue. Quickly, GD number 12. Finally, the National Assembly will not hesitate to invoke its constitutional powers if nothing is done to address
You're
them.
not allowing me to address number 9. And I'm
Okay, come on.
I'm hereby protesting.
The Constitution and powers. No, let's go there.
This is one of the other issues that James mentioned the other time.
The president must take immediate steps to end poverty and
unemployment. Now, the question we want to ask is, in which way is it going to be done? There is only one way that is reasonable and that this can be done, and that is to engage to facilitate as many small businesses as possible. Whether we like it or not, that is one sure way to go. What is it that Nigeria has that is strong? Agriculture, there is no doubt about it. Recently, we talked about the Ease of Doing Business Index by the World Bank.
Okay.
Well, there is something that has been done that anyone can go find out how well the federal government. It's been a concern for me, and as far as some people are concerned, Lagos and Kano or Kaduna, that the government tried to do something, about recently. And I just imagine
we are trying to bury this now.
Now, just imagine that we are able to replicate what was done in Lagos and Kano or Lagos and Kaduna across the 36 states. I want to believe that the Ease of Doing Business Index in Nigeria would rise much better, much further than that. But if there is anything to be done now, let all the senators at their different levels go find a way to ensure that they can pass laws that will help Nigerians to be able to do businesses on their own. They shouldn't just leave this. Once the law is there,
not be giving keke
and shoemaking kits. Come on.
Exactly.
One by radio. No, it's all right. So then go they hear news. All right, then we must pass over. But again, it must sound too kindergarten or too nursery for you if I asked if the last government gave us a near 20-hour non-stop electricity. Number one, the APC wouldn't have come to power. It's debatable.
Exactly.
No less so the president. So we are here. So we are here. Now, still to come, herdsmen kill 3 policemen, 8 villagers in Nasarawa, just as Defense Minister pushes for suspension of anti-grazing law in Benue and Taraba states. So you want to stay with us. Okay then, welcome back. Now, the wearisome tale of the absurd about blood-sucking herdsmen continues without let, and the everyday Nigerian watches helplessly. We can confirm that 3 police officers of the Special Anti-Robbery Squad, or SARS, along with 8 farmers, were gruesomely murdered in the Mararaba, Udege, Aisa, and Aguma communities in Nasarawa State by suspected herdsmen The uniformed men ran into an ambush while on a salvage mission. Their corpses have, however, been recovered. Sometimes, before coming to the studio, when I get the subject matter, more so when the subject has to do with herdsmen and killings, I get a lot disinterested, not because it doesn't bother me, but it is one too many.
Yes. Well, you see, as I always say, it is our responsibility as journalists to continue to talk about these things so that the government of the day will know that clearly it has come up short. There has never been any time that human lives have been wasted in the way human lives have been wasted in our country now. Even Boko Haram does not kill people with this kind of regularity. I've taken time to study Boko Haram activities in the last 10 years. Boko Haram does not kill people as frequently as we see. Nearly every day you hear that, oh, if it is not happening in Taraba, it is happening in Nasarawa. If it is not Nasarawa, it is Benue. If it is not Benue, it is somewhere in Adamawa. When will this nonsense stop? And added to that, bandits are killing people in Zamfara. Bandits are running riots in Kaduna. The highway, the Kaduna-Funtua highway, is like a no-go area. It's similar to the Maiduguri-Biu highway, where Boko Haram kills people with relish. So the question is, when are we going to get it right? As long as headsmen are killing policemen and killing soldiers, because I remember when the army announced that it arrested 162 headsmen, it admitted that 13 of its men were killed by headsmen. The headsmen have their militia. Wherever they want them to go and kill people, that is where they go. That is a fact. So if headsmen are now taking on policemen, killing soldiers, then they've declared a war against the Nigerian state. And if they declare a war against the Nigerian state, the maximum force should be visited on them so that this nonsense can end.
Again, we have provoked Ade in London. Ade is here. Good evening. Welcome. Hello, are you there?
Hello, yes I am.
So let's go.
Thank you very much. This is Ade calling from United Kingdom.
No, you are Ade. But go on. All right.
Yeah, I say kudos to every one of you. You're doing fantastic, good job.
Thank you.
In respect of the headsmen, it's so sad that the Nigerian security officers are not doing the best that they can do. And the governors in all those states, they are not doing their best as well. And not until they have been honest, that's when we can get over this issue of this headsmen killing. It's nothing to do with Buhari at all. We should be honest with ourselves. Buhari will not go to the street, he can only give instructions. Not until the people that are actually in the state be honest to themselves and they deal with this issue of headsmen properly. And I know you've actually discussed about this impeachment saga, but I'd love to contribute to this. You say one thing about Nigerians. It's unfortunate until we realize that these National Assembly people, they are not doing us any good favor at all. Most especially, Saraki is a bad person. We regretted the way he actually found himself right to the National Assembly as the Senate President. But unfortunately, they refuse to listen to Tinubu and all these good, successful politicians in Nigeria.
Yeah.
We are very, very sad that people like Senator Saraki, Nigeria should have ganged up and go and beat every one of them out of that place.
No.
We can't beat them.
Are they in your Britain, in your England, where you stay, where you really
don't beat
do
up
that.
people.
So
we don't beat up people.
They
you
don't
can
beat up.
constitutionally.
The people that are on the street that can vote, unfortunately, sir, the people that are on the street that can vote, they cannot see, they don't know the true thing that is happening.
Ade, thank you. What you do, I'm sure what you do in London is to vote them out. That's one easy way of doing it. But thank you. You know, somebody talked about the National Assembly going back to the 12 conditions, and we mentioned not enough funds given to security agencies. So and the onus is on the National Assembly members to appropriate more funds for this.
In fairness to them, the National Assembly, the senators said if they need more funds, they should ask for it. If you see how much we are spending battling Boko Haram alone, with the Air Force spending more than 300 million on Jet A1 every month.
Aviation fuel.
Aviation fuel, about 345 million every month just to buy aviation fuel. No one can say that we are not spending money on defense, on our security. But they are saying, look, what are your problems? If you need more money, then you should let us know so that we can appropriate.
Quickly, is it possible to fathom any guess why the Agatu Fulani crisis is
back again?
Yeah.
I'm surprised. It looks like once we are trying to quell the fire somewhere, they go elsewhere. Because look, in 2016, more than 1,000 people were killed in Agatu in clashes between them and headsmen. But for a long time, I felt, look, peace had finally returned to Agatu land. But they are back now, fighting one another again. And those two local governments, Logo and Guma, in Benue State, are still the local governments where people are still being killed, because as they were killing people in Nasarawa, they were also killing people, headsmen were killing people in Guma and Logo. They killed 9 people and set ablaze 45 houses. Many schools in that local government have been destroyed because they not only attack community, they set schools ablaze. You know, so they continue to create IDPs within our country. That is why whatever it takes, government must do to solve this problem. I've had the defense minister talking again, saying again that they should suspend the
open anti-grazing
That is
law.
after even the FEC, Federal Executive Council, took a decision that there should not be open grazing in 5 states. You, a minister, you are coming back to tell us that. That's a defense minister who is from Zamfara State, and they continue to waste Zamfara people. He has not been able to do anything about it. So what is he talking about?
Asoko, I'll go there. So if the defense minister is a clearinghouse.
Exactly. And I'm even surprised that such a statement is coming from him, when even everybody is saying that, okay, let's, rather than this killings continue, why can't you look at the modern way of,
of grazing,
which is ranching. You know, there are suggestions like that. And also, I'm also surprised that even the security chiefs, apart from maybe the Army, the Air Force, and the Navy, the others, like the police, the NSA, the defense minister, the interior minister, we are all
paramilitary institutions too.
Military, army officers retired. You know, they are all retired, and we are still having these killings.
Yes.
And what I will notice is that even the defense minister is like he doesn't know the right words to use.
No, he's always making a mistake.
You know, he will just say it, and he doesn't know how this.
There was a time that he didn't want to say Boko Haram is holding on to territories in Nigeria. He now said Boko Haram is still active in 3 local governments. So how do you, what is the meaning of being
active and what is, you understand? So the man has to know the choice of words to use. Whether he likes it or he doesn't, it's like he has failed in his duty as a defense minister. And that is one of the reasons that people are always calling on Buhari that, look at this, your appointees.
Can't you even rejig these people?
Yes, the ones that
what
are
is
not
difficult
working,
in rejigging them?
Remove them because they are not giving you what people really want. Because if you can't secure people, then what is the essence?
What are they doing there? What's their job?
Your mind is simply this: the open grazing law was duly passed by state assemblies. So how do you reverse that?
I think
you go back to the assemblies.
It's even laughable. Someone told you I was at a meeting some 3-4 hours ago, and this fellow told me something which just brought my mind to something that we are missing heavily as far as this grazing thing is concerned. When I mentioned the figure that the governor of Lagos State mentioned as how much we spend monthly on food at 50 billion, he said it's not true, that it's a lot more than that. He now told me something. He said on the average in Lagos State alone, we consume up to 2 million cows a year. More than 2 million cows a year.
That's Lagos alone.
Lagos alone. Now, that if we convert that into money, that is something. That means that we are losing a lot of money, okay, by not even looking at that. So making this grazing issue such a cacophonic matter is losing sight of something that is even more important, which is the economic end of it. Now, we are only looking at the security end, which of course is a very, very important part. But if we are able to let our people see the economic value,
there's potential there.
There is heavy business potential. I mean, how much are we talking about here? On the average, how much is one cow? Let's say 250,000.
No.
It starts too much.
Varies.
Let's say from 50 to 250.
Okay.
Depends on the size.
Please multiply that by 2 million in 1 year. Okay, and that is not the biggest, that's not the smallest. Do you understand what I'm saying? So if we look at it from the economic end and not just looking at the silo angle of just the security aspect of it, if we look at the entire value chain, the shoes we wear and so many other things.
Import beef from Kenya.
You understand what I'm saying? So if we are looking at it only from the security end.
No, in some of those grocery chains.
Okay.
So if we are looking at
we eat Kenyan beef.
You know? So if we're looking at this, the silo of the security angle alone, we are losing so many other things in the value chain. You understand? So that's one way I think we should really, really look at this thing. And not just security alone.
Yeah, let's quickly go to Niger State. Amos is waiting patiently. Welcome, Amos.
Thank you very much, sir.
Yeah. Let's go.
Hello, sir.
Yeah, let's have your contribution.
My problem is, why is it difficult for Mr. President to declare the herdsmen terrorists?
And end the trouble.
The declaration will not end the problem.
Okay, but again, it's a valid argument, you know.
For me, I'm not even after
Amos,
him declaring them.
It's not about a difficulty. The president must weigh the options. If declaring them a terror organization if by declaring them it will end it, I don't think the president will hesitate. I may be wrong.
I don't think that's the end. That will mark the end of the Boko Haram. We had this problem with Boko Haram. The Christianization of Nigeria lobbied. It went as far as the United States to lobby that Boko Haram should be pronounced a terrorist organization. At that time, the Nigerian government was reluctant to do it. It was the Khan president, that Orishe Jaffor and co, Reverend Williams, that went to the U.S. They went to the Congress and asked that Boko Haram should be declared a terrorist organization. That was around 2011 or 2012. But even after they were declared a terrorist organization, have they stopped killing people? What we need is let our government descend heavily on these guys.
Time is of the essence. Okay, all right. You know, football is football or soccer, if you agree, is undeniably the greatest spectator sport on the planet, and the World Cup, the most prized laurel in football, is almost here. The 21st edition of the World Cup, to be hosted by Russia, only 9 days away, and Nigeria joins 31 other national soccer teams to vie for honors at the showpiece. The Nigerian Super Eagles are going to be to the Mundial for a 6th time. The team coach, German-born Geno Rohr, has released his list of 23 players who would carry the hopes of 70 million Nigerians to the contest. We should treat that after the break, please. Okay then, Jide, another World Cup, the 21st is upon us. And I just saw the tune-up match, the warm-up match against...
We lost again.
Yeah, but it was not a must-win game.
Yes, but it was a most impressive. Because having not done well in our last 3 games, I was expecting us to put
not won.
having not played well. You see, sometimes you may lose.
2 different things.
Yes, you may lose and
can
actually
lose
play
well.
well. In the last FA Cup final, for example, Manchester United, this last FA Cup match,
yeah.
you know, Manchester United lost to Chelsea. But they played well. They played very well.
They didn't score
they
well.
didn't score. But for many people, that was an impressive performance.
So what would you have preferred?
We've been losing and not also playing well.
Okay.
Look, see, against England, look at what happened in the first half.
First half was terrible.
The performance was poor. People say that we did well in the second half, but we didn't create many chances. Go back and see the highlights of that game. Even in the second half, the English team had created more chances. You know, so I'm worried that we are this bad heading to the World Cup. And you never, if we are this bad.
Being judgmental.
No, I'm talking about what I see. For the goalkeeper, for example, yes. In my view, the goalkeeper is one for the future. He has the height. You know, he will do well. But we are thrusting that young man. We are making him our number 1 keeper so early in his career.
It's too...
You know, so that is my concern.
Have you played the game?
Yes.
You played the game?
Yeah.
With
I want to believe you. I want to believe you.
5 aside now.
Oh, come on.
Not at the highest level.
Ayo, but a coach is the trainer, the manager of the team. You don't think he has his strategy?
Well, I really don't have
Keep them guessing.
I really don't. As a matter of fact, when I saw a bit of the match this evening, the only thing that came to my mind was, could it be that this guy is just trying to put his boys out there so it looks like we're not ready? For me, it's
Who
just
does that?
Hey, you never can tell. Anything is possible. I mean, you remember the Westerhoff's team, was it the 94 team? Oh, no, the Flying Eagles team that won.
No, Joe Bumfrey.
Well, the one that used the Munike.
No, the African Nations.
1994 Nations
yeah.
Cup.
Thank you.
Yeah,
You know,
that's preparatory to the World Cup.
No one knew Amunike until that last match.
No, he said he kept being prodded by the minister then, bless his soul, the Air Force man, my friend, Omera. Omera kept saying, use Amunike. The man said, Minister, I coach the boys. I know the team, leave the team, and so on. And Amunike was his ace. But I'm saying, don't you think he's playing keep guessing?
That's my point. That's the point I am holding on to right now. But I mean, come on.
You're breaking Judaism.
That's the point I'm holding on to right now. But you see, I have watched Nigerian football so many times, I almost developed blood pressure. So I do not carry my heart too much on it anymore. Okay. So I only wait for the the final scores.
So you need a doctor each time you watch it.
Because I mean, that's the passion. And you know what's also interesting? I'll also take this from another angle now. We're looking at football from just the entertainment, recreational angle alone. But we should pay attention to the business end of it. Whether you like it or not, I did a bit of research not too long ago, writing up something, and I found out that Nigeria is the world's #1 footballing nation. In other words, our people are the one population that watches football in the world the most. That should count for something for us. You know, how do we aggregate these numbers as a nation? Okay.
So we watch it more than Brazil.
We watch football more than any other nation in the world. That is, and I'm not just to this World Cup or anything.
I have my doubts about.
Well, you can check.
In terms of population, the Brazilians are more than us.
Are you saying?
Check. That's what I found out.
No. If you are saying that you are going to viewing center and watch, it's different from going to the stadium, pay and watch. It's different.
So how many people have time now to go to the
That's
stadium?
what I'm saying now. So you can't say that.
So which match are we even talking about that they are watching? The Britons, for example, they will go with their entire families.
Yeah,
They will go and
on
watch.
Wednesday.
And a lot of them are season ticket holders.
Yeah,
My
exactly.
point
In
is-
fact, they buy tickets
Jide and
throughout the whole year.
Ayo, Asokwa forgets we have made our football on the local front too uninteresting. And you can predict, we can say it here, I hope they won't take me to court. I remember the governor of Cross River State, his name Donald Duke, disbanded the Calabar Rovers team because they had to allow Aqua United score 11 goals to nothing just to remain in the Premier League. You know, it's a part, there was a match, Jide, that ended 69-0 in Kaduna State. You know,
Kaduna?
so, oh yeah.
Was
it's
it basketball?
No, no,
Football? No. I cannot come here and guess.
Well,
you know, it's part of the problem.
It's not possible for me to know everything. But that one I didn't know.
The big problem here is officiating. You can't be too sure of a referee. Ask yourself, Ayo, Asokwa, and Jide, when was the last time a Nigerian held the referee and was at the center of the game since 1984?
Even in this World Cup, as good as England
the
is,
quality
they are not
is
even
going
good.
down.
They don't have a referee.
England too, you are not represented at this World Cup.
Yeah, they are not.
And whereas as
Oh, no measure yourself with England, though.
No, that's what I'm telling you now. So,
I don't know why they had that problem, because England produced referees that officiated the last World Cup final. That same year, the same referee officiated the final of the European Champions League. So I don't know what happened this time. But you see, Nigerians expect their team to win all the time. Nobody wants to see us lose games.
Yeah.
And the rate at which the level of our performance in preparation matches, you know, I can say has not been impressive.
and
They may get to the World Cup and do a different thing.
Yeah.
They may pick up.
Which is what I'm
match to
hoping.
match.
they need to blend.
Yes.
For example, I didn't expect that they will beat Argentina the way they beat Argentina.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah.
So I still have hopes.
There are
at
some
least
folks
for
who would tell you Argentina without a Messi is not Argentina. But that's for another day.
but we beat them.
Okay, that's for the record.
We beat them.
Ayo Bonfrejo has just got a pledge of 3-bedroom mansion gift to him redeemed.
How many-
Good.
after how many
22,
years?
22 years. We're getting somewhere.
At least he's still alive.
And Asokwa, after the 1994 World Cup, we were voted the 5th best footballing nation. After Vesterhoff left, the team was taken over by the guy who died the other day, Amanda Shuaibu, and we came down to 55.
Because
Crazy.
We could not keep
momentum.
you know, build on it, you know. If going,
okay, we must go.
We'll keep praying.
That's
Because
right.
we like praying.
Oh, yeah.
So after the Olympics, after our performance in the Olympics, when we won the gold medal,
Oh, yeah.
we've been going down.
Pele told you when you won, this is your team for 98 World Cup.
And since
We
then-
went to 98 World Cup. It was a dismal outing. I hear we must go. Jide, thank you for coming.
Thank you so much.
Ayo, I thank you too.
Thank you, Kayons.
None of us is a Muslim, but we want to thank our Muslim brothers and sisters. It's day number 21, am I right? So 9 days ago, you can hold out. But think Nigeria when you pray. I pray for Nigeria and pray for leadership in this country. That's all on the program today. Another episode of the program will come tomorrow. But watch a repeat broadcast at 11. That's a repeat of this particular one at 11 tonight. And also watch Journalist Hangout on other platforms showing on the screen now, and on YouTube at youtube.com/TVC News Nigeria. The feedback channel remains the same. I am Citizen Jones Hussein. Bye-bye for now.